Where are they now? Sing the thing, man. Where are they now? Where are those people who used to be so popular in my country? Where are they now? We forgot them somehow. Where are they now? We forgot them somehow. Boy, I sing in calypso.
The media assumes additional functions. In many societies, it plays the role of watchdog over the affairs of state. In situations where parliamentary opposition is numerically or performance weak, this watchdog role is even more critical.
After leaving school in 1962, Guy Ellis headed to Bridge Street in Castries with a pocket full of job applications. His first stop was at the Voice Publishing Company Limited.
And I walked into the Voice, and to my surprise, they were just in the throes of reorganizing the newspaper, and I was given a job.
The rest, as the saying goes, is history. History unfolding kept Guy Ellis in the media for over 50 years. He resigned as managing editor of the Voice newspaper in 1994, a position he held for 19 years. He moved on to co-found the Mirror newspaper, where he spent 18 years as the managing editor before retiring in 2011. Ellis returned to the Voice newspaper in March 2014 for an editorial consultancy assignment to help with the company's succession plan. During his early career, Ellis did a short stint at Radio St. Lucia and did news reporting for Radio Caribbean International.
The opportunity that came my way to become a correspondent, an international news correspondent, you know, it's amazing that after just a few years in the media, I was suddenly being called from overseas by people who I didn't even know, asking me to write for them, news agencies, newspapers, and so forth. So those invitations came one after the other. And, you know, to me, that was a tremendous achievement and something which I enjoyed very much.
He represented about 5 of the major Western news agencies over his initial 40 years in the profession, in addition to writing for newspapers and magazines all over the place.
I think the highlight of my career, I would think, is my coverage of St. Lucia for the international press. Because of the, I won't call it the ability, it gave me the opportunity to be able to record the history of St. Lucia over a long period of time, and not just recording it, but to tell the outside world what was happening here.
Guy Ellis wrote 2 books, St. Lucia, Helen of the West, and he co-authored A History of St. Lucia with Robert DeVoe and Jolene Harmson. He used his archives that he accumulated through his career as reference material for the section of the book of A History of St. Lucia he was responsible for.
Whereas the other writers, the other 2 other authors would have had to go and search for stuff, I actually lived through the section of the book which I was in charge of writing. I actually lived through it.
Where are they now? Sing the thing, man. Where are they now? Where are those people who used to be so popular in my country? Where are they now? We forgot them somehow. Where are they now? We forgot them somehow. Boy, I sing in calypso.